guys, what's up? It's me, Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. And before we get started with today's video, remember to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And without further ado, let's get on with the video. I am so hot and sweaty today. It is 27 degrees, and I know for some people around the world that is not that hot, but for me it is. I always run very hot, and I am just soaked in sweat. And I've been moving around gathering all these books for this video, so hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I am doing the book recommendation tag, and I saw Steph Borer do this. So I have the list of questions up here and my stack of books here. So let's just dive right in because this could be a fairly long video. So first question, a book you tell people is your favorite. The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I love this book. It is my favorite book of all time, and this series is my favorite book series of all time. This is a YA dystopian sci-fi following Katniss Everdeen and Peeta Mellark. It has romance, like a love triangle. It has like games to the death, like where kids fight each other to the death. And it is just so, obviously a terrible situation, but it is such a great book. And I highly recommend this series to anyone looking to read a good book. Whatever genre you like, I think you will enjoy this. It has aspects of everything. It's got those sci-fi and dystopian elements. It's got the romance. It's got like the dark themes of like, and it's like the thrilling aspects. Everyone should read this series. Next is a book that is your guilty pleasure. There's so many books that I love to read, but one that definitely feels like a guilty pleasure is IPB, Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. This series is pure trash, but I love it. This is basically alien smut. And so this is a series. I've only read the first two books, and they each follow a different couple. And I highly recommend them if you're looking for that type of book. And these are just a steamy good time. Next is a book everyone loved, but you didn't. And that is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I hate that book with a passion. I know, hot take there. But I hate that book so much. I know almost everyone loves that book, but I really did not. So please don't be mad if that is your favorite book, but I did not like it. Next is a book you read the fastest, and I have read a lot of books in one day, and so I decided to go with the one I read the fastest recently, and that is The Family Across the Street by Nicole Trope, and this is an Australian psychological thriller, and I read this in one day, and I read this just the other day, like less than a week ago, so that is the one I'm going to say for that question. Next is a book that deserves more hype. I'm definitely going to go with Pinky Promise by Rebecca Rennick. This came out this year, and I've heard no one talk about it. Like, that needs to change. This book is so good. This is about Lala and Henry and their relationship. This is a romance, adult contemporary romance, and I love it. It was so funny, so cute, so sweet, and such a good time. I cannot recommend this book enough. It is Grumpy Sunshine, Opposites Attract, and yeah, so I definitely recommend this book. The stack's falling over and it's really small already. It's really small and it's already falling over. That could be a problem. A book that is becoming a movie or TV show. I'm going to say Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. This is already a TV show, but the second season is coming out in August. So definitely this one. This is a graphic novel series about two boys, Charlie and Nick, and their relationship as strangers, like, well, not strangers, but like, Charlie's always liked Nick, but like that to them becoming friends, to them becoming more than friends, and it is about Charlie and being gay, and Nick and learning he is bisexual, and it has great representation, and I highly recommend this graphic novel series. And so next, oh, my computer shut off, is a book you have reread the most, and that would be Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. I have reread the first and second. I've reread the second book twice. Like, I've done 2 rereads, so 3 times total. And I've reread the first book. I have no idea how many times, but I've only read the rest of the series once because I keep starting the series and then never continuing it. But I won't be doing that again for a while since my TBR is extensive. Next is a book from a genre you don't typically read, and that is The Little Tea Shop on Main by Jodie Thomas. I love this book. 5 stars. It was so good. This is like a women's fiction with a lot of romance. I do love good romance, but I'm not a huge adult contemporary general fiction person. But I did really enjoy this. It deals with a lot of sad and emotional topics, so definitely look that up before going in. But I really enjoyed this and I highly recommend. Next is a book that deserves all the hype it gets, and I'm going to go with Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. Sophie Lark is my queen. I love her so much, and I love this book. I love Broken Vow in the series even more. Those are the only two from the series I've read. But I just decided to go with this one because it is the first book. And so, yeah, this is a dark mafia romance. This one is enemies to lovers, like true enemies to lovers. She burns down his library in his house in their first meeting. And it is a arranged marriage. So definitely check this out. If you want to get into dark romance, it's not too dark. It's definitely a good entry into this subgenre. Next is a book you usually recommend when asked to give a recommendation. So I am going to say 3. I'm going to say The Hunger Games, which I already talked about. I'm going to say The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This is a adult contemporary romance. It is a workplace romance and enemies to lovers. And it is just so good, the first in a series. And I love this book. And the other one I'm going to talk about is The Selection by Kira Cass. This is a YA romance, fantasy romance dystopian book. I love this. This was my favorite series for many years. The series is so good, especially the first 3 books. And so this is about a girl who gets entered to be in like this group of girls competing for the prince's heart. So it's kind of like The Bachelor, but make it royalty. And it is YA. And so this one is another one that I would recommend. The next question, I also picked this book for, and that is a book that has your favorite characters. And I'm going to go with America from The Selection. She is the main character. And I'm also going to go with Peeta Mellark from The Hunger Games because he is the sweetest boy ever. And I love him. Next is a book you wish you could live in. And I'm going to go with The Broad by Devney Perry, writing as Willa Nash. This is part of the Calamity, Montana series, and I would love to live in Calamity, Montana. This small town is so wholesome and sweet, and this is an adult contemporary romance. Highly recommend checking this book and this series out. And a book you thought you would hate but ended up loving. That one's hard. I haven't pulled anything down for that because I don't think I can think of anything I thought I would hate that I read and loved. I'm going to skip that one. Next is a book that made you cry. And I'm going to go with Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. This is the third and final book. Well, not the final book because there's a new book. There's a prequel. But this is the third book in the Hunger Games trilogy. So this one is so sad. So many characters died. I cried, especially when 2 characters in this book died. Not cried. I cried when 2 characters in this book died. I was so sad and torn up, and I'm like, how could they do that? Like, one of them in particular, I was like, how could you do that? Like, that should be a crime. But anyways, and a book I wish I could read for the first time is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. That is my favorite book of all time, my favorite book series, and I wish I could have that experience again. Hopefully I find it in another book. And that is it for this book tag. Thank you for watching. Oh my God, that was a lot of books. I have a lot of books to go put back on the shelves, and that is going to take me some time, and I'm already so hot and sweaty. I do not want to have to put all these books back in their proper places. But if you made it this far, please let me know what your favorite book of 2023 is and what your favorite book of all time is. And before you go, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.